Also, you just get it for someone you hate. Someone who ain't got no melanin on their shelf. Get them the blackest book you can possibly get and be like, here you go, bruh. The last question that we have planned is, what have we learned from this process and what are we interested in implementing in the future? And I feel like this is the biggest question because I feel like we've learned a lot during this process.
So piggybacking off of what you said, we are definitely going to implement formatting guidelines in the future. There were no formatting guidelines this time, but we have learned our lesson. My eyes can't do it. So please be aware and watch out that there will be guidelines in the next call for anthology. But also be aware that this time, because we did not ask for them, it will not be counted against you. So do not worry about that either.
I would also say that probably next time we'll probably let you guys know a little sooner. Like we will tell you before the day we open up submissions that we're planning to do an anthology. Assuming nothing changes, we will be doing an anthology in the future. No date as of now because we have to do the first one first, but we'll let you guys know well in advance when the submission window will open and what the theme of it will be so that you'll have a little bit more lead time and preparation time before we open the window. Because I know a lot of people were just kind of hit with, what? They're submitting? This is happening? Like right now? That could be a little panic inducing. So sorry, you guys.
Yeah, we do acknowledge that we gave a window of 2 months. You know, sometimes life be lifing and there's other deadlines. So we are going to try and let you guys know a little bit ahead of time.
Yeah. I think other things that I have learned personally, it's just, if you guys are watching this, right, you'll know that I do this channel by myself for the most part. Like, it's just me. Like, I'll do the podcast and I'll talk to people, but it's just me. That's because I royally suck at group projects. I'm also the worst person with time. Tatiana can attest to this. She'll be like, Chelsea, we got a new submission. I need you to read this. I'm like, great, I'll read it this afternoon. 1 week later, I just finished it. So I think for me, it would just be budgeting my time more appropriately so that when I say that I'm going to do things, I account for my own complete disillusion for time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
For me, it's definitely trusting myself more because I know that, like, I've been in this genre a very long time. I know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, this is my first time doing kind of anthology submissions, going through short stories. And so sometimes I do second guess myself a lot. I'm like, well, I'm not sure. So I bring Chelsea on some of the stories and we end up having the same opinions about them. So I'm like, okay, I really should just trust my gut on this and just trust myself more.
When I tell y'all that Tatiana is the nice one, please hear me when I say that Tatiana is the nice one. I promise you.
And I think one more thing that I really learned from this process is, I don't think either of us really imagined like how much support and how supportive the community would be and how hungry people would be for an anthology like this. Because I know, like, at least from my side as an author, as a new adult, an adult author like myself, I'm very cognizant of the fact how little space there is for adult fantasy stories by Black authors. And it's just been so wonderful for all of us to come together and create this space and to make it bigger and to make it larger and to make it for us.
Yeah. I would say this experience has been both like humbling and grateful filled and just like also like confidence building at the same time. Humbling because it's just like, wow, this thing that I've been pouring my time and energy into for years is actually picking up steam. And I'm just like grateful that, I guess in my mind, I distinctly remember having the conversation with Ben and being like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, like this is a thing that's gonna happen, and getting him and my mom to like just help. And it was just the three of us. Like my mom doesn't help anymore, but it's grown past that. But just like, wow, this is where we started with a little Airtable database and doing everything manually and just being like, hey, you guys, we're here, and how we've grown from there. And so that has been an experience, but also just extremely grateful for the community because you guys are really making this happen in ways that I just could never have imagined. Like the outpouring of support has been absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. And Tatiana and also, La and Celeste, because we're all doing this together, but they can attest. I was like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know if anybody's going to submit. I don't know if we're going to have enough people. Like, I don't know. And to see that people not only submit it, but they're also adding their books to the library, and so the library is expanding, and they're also following other Black authors, and they're joining the Discord server, and they're joining the newsletter, and they're telling other people about it. And what we are doing is making significant waves in this community among Black authors and Black readers. It's just like, it's crazy to be at the epicenter of it and be like, wow, what we're doing really matters. But it's also very confidence boosting, because as someone who writes Black fantasy, specifically adult fantasy, it's like, y'all want this. And it's just nice to know that it's just like, you spend so much time as an author in a space by yourself writing. It's a very isolating career, and you can find community, you can make community, right? That's important. I encourage you to do it. However, at the end of the day, sometimes it feels like you're shouting into a void, especially when you're trying to sell your books, and it's hard to market yourself, and the numbers aren't numbering the way you want them to, or the product isn't moving the way that you want it to, or the reviews aren't coming in the way that you want it to. Being an indie author is very mental fortitude on a lot of levels. So to be surrounded by people who are like, I write this, I read this, I want this. And specifically at this point, right? Because today is August 20th. We have not made any announcements of who's going to be in the anthology. I think this is the first time in this video where we have clearly said how many authors are even going to be in the anthology, And there are still people who are pre-ordering, like, I don't care who's in it. I don't care what stories are in it. I'm here for the cause. And that is really overwhelming in a way that like just melts my heart in a lot of ways, because when I tell you I didn't think it was gonna get this far, y'all don't know how many times I've sat here and been like, I don't know if I want to do the Melanin Library anymore. I don't know. Does anybody want it? I don't know. I can't afford this. So the fact that we're getting to a point where I can actually see the Melanin Library supporting itself and getting to a place where financially we can do more to support Black authors is wild. Absolutely just like buck wild in my mind. I feel like that was a ramble.
No, I think that was great to close this out. It was perfect.
Okay, you guys, that being said, if you are watching this, and I may or may not cut this up into different segments because it's roughly an hour long. So if you've watched this entire playlist or this entire video, whichever it ends up being, first of all, thank you. We appreciate it. Second of all, please pre-order a copy of Magic of the Melanin. This anthology, I don't think we actually covered this, but the anthology itself, the pre-orders are going to support the authors who are submitting. So the more people who pre-order, the more the authors who are contributing to it are going to get paid. So if you purchase a book before February 18th, you are directly going to be supporting Black authors and creators. So that's the first thing. If you get it after the 18th, right, you're directly going to be supporting the Melanin Library, because everything after that point is going to support the Melanin Library to make sure it remains a free resource. So even if you don't read, even if you don't like anthologies, pre-order the book so that you can support everything else. Also, you just get it for someone you hate, someone who ain't got no melanin on their shelf. Get them the blackest book you can possibly get and be like, here you go, bruh.
Happy birthday.
So get it for someone you love, get it for someone you hate, whatever. But go ahead and do that. If you would like to donate to the Melanin Library, you can just do that. 5, 10, 15, 50, 100, 500, 1,000, whatever you want to donate. There's a link down in the description box below. All the money goes to keeping the site up and running and making sure that we can do things like put together an anthology, because we are really doing this on a wing and a prayer, you guys. Wing and a prayer. But it's going to be great. That being said, all the links to all the things will be in the description box down below. If you do have questions about the anthology, whether it be this one or if you're watching this in the future and we're doing a new anthology and you're like, hey, I have questions, leave a comment down below this video. I do monitor and will monitor the comments for this. So let me know and I will get back to you and answer any questions that you have. If I'm taking too long, then you can contact me in the normal ways. I'm not giving my email on the internet like that, but it is really easy to find. So get into it. That being said, you guys, that's it. Again, I'm Chelsea, C.M. Lockhart. I write books about Black girls who aren't all that nice. I was here with Tatiana Obey. I will let her tell you where you can find her on the interwebs.
Yeah, so you can find me at my website, tatianaobey.com, spelled O-V-E-Y, or social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Obey the Author.
I love her handle so much. So much. Okay. As for me, I am C Lockhart Wright, WRITE, everywhere on socials. So get into it. And as with everything, there will be links to all the things down in the description box below. The anthology, Tatiana's books, my books, if you want to hire me for editing, if you want to donate to the Melanin Library, if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel for the Melanin Library, all of those things. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss when we go live. But that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, I hope your days are lovely and your books are interesting. Bye, you guys.